Listen, I don't want to say that I'm right literally every time, but I will say, factually, I've been right literally every time. The new dev notes have come out for Risk of Rain 2, and they've decided to grace us with some more information about the DLC that will be coming out in 2022. Never forget the delay. But to appease us little sharks, Jonathan, the community manager, decided to give us a little bit of a dev thoughts and a video as well. So let's dive right into this little bit of a dev thought. First off, Hopoo Games moved offices, and in a weird display of power, apparently Gore is running around pantsless. Have we learned nothing from Blizzard? Also, they provide us with a little bit of an FAQ for some of the major questions the players have had for the update. What is the release date, and will it launch on console at the same time? The release date as it is now, since it was delayed, is going to be in Q1 of 2022. The console version will actually be released later, which is something they said they wouldn't do, but the issue was, if they actually wanted to get them out simultaneously, they'd have to delay the Steam version even more. So it would have been like Q2, Q3, and we don't want that. There's some sacrifices we'd make for console, boys and girls, but that's not one of them. Also, I'm pretty sure this is underneath the Gearbox publishing deal that they had, so I'm not really sure it's Hopoo Games' fault altogether. I think it's just like a thing they have to deal with. Here's a juicy question for anyone with friends. I wouldn't know. How will multiplayer work between people who own and don't own the expansion? Apparently, how it works is all you have to do is have one player, and then you will have access to all of the content, but the other people who do not have the DLC will not be able to play the bonus characters. So in other words, you can play with your poor friends, but your poor friends can't play with the new characters. The shiny toys are not for them. Speaking of poor, how much will the expansion cost? The price of the expansion is still being discussed, but because Risk of Rain 2 is like, I think, $20 off the top of my head, maybe 25? Yes, 25. It will most likely be a $10 to $15 range DLC. And finally, how can I protect Gubu Jr. from this horrible world? And of course, Gubu Jr. is a serial killer murdering beetles, so we don't have to worry. The real question is, who will protect you from Gubu? And here's the juice. Here is the sauce. The expansion reveal. Last month, I promised you more expansion teasers, and I'm here once again to sneak the deets out of the coffers of the Hopoo dev team. The theme of the upcoming Risk of Rain 2 expansion is the Void. Cough. Predicted. Cough. Now, there's a couple of things going on with this image. Number one, you can look at the background. It looks like it's in the Void. Number two, it's purple, which means it's a new item tier, and I think a lot of people have been saying purple item tier, and a lot of people have said Void expansion. So I'm not gonna say for certain that this is a Void expansion, but purple item tier, and it looks like this item is in a new map, which is eerily Void similar, but it is highly likely that there will be a Void expansion. That's my big prediction. I'm pressing the prediction button. Let's see if I can go 2 for 0 on predicting updates. So apparently the new expansion is going to be a Void themed expansion, and 1/3 of the content is about to be Void themed. This includes the new loot tier. So yes, most people who were predicting it for months, Void items are a thing. That is a Void tier. Apparently these are doppelgangers of already ordinary items. So Lensmaker's glasses, bustling fungus, ukulele. These change the effects of the already existing items into corrupted Void versions of the items that have different effects altogether. For example, the Lost Seer's lenses, which is the corrupted Void version of the Lensmaker's glasses, have a 0.5% plus 0.5% per stack chance to instantly kill a non-boss enemy and corrupts all Lensmaker's glasses. Now, this doesn't work on bosses, but it is kind of like telescopic sight, I think that's what it was called, from Risk of Rain 1 and in Starstorm, I think. We've played this mod quite a bit in Risk of Rain 2, but this is actually kind of nuts. Imagine just killing any enemy that isn't a boss type enemy, of course, in one shot. Guillotine who, Megalol? Then there's the Weeping Fungus, and it heals for 2% plus 2% per stack of your health every second while sprinting and corrupts all bustling fungi. It seems that a lot of these corrupting items are like similar to Risk of Rain 1 items. I think they're, I can't remember the name for it, but there was an item that functions very similarly to Weeping Fungus in Risk of Rain 1. Or maybe it's Starstorm. I can't remember. They're synonymous. And next up we have the Polyloot, which was the item that they showed us in that screenshot last time. This one is a Yooka-Laylee void item, and 25% chance to fire lightning for 50% total damage up to 3 plus 3 per stack times, and it corrupts all Yooka-Laylees. Now, the little moving picture that they have down there makes it seem like instead of the Yooka-Laylee proccing on multiple enemies, it just like shoots lightning forward, kind of like a Prayon effect. So technically speaking, you can hit more enemies, but it looks like a smaller AoE and it's not guaranteed that it will hit enemies. Also, it looks like it goes in a line, so it won't necessarily be single target either, because it keeps going down straight in a line, and enemies are obviously going to be coming towards you. But the more you stack, the more lightning that'll come out, so maybe it'll be really good compared to the Yooka-Laylee. I can't tell for sure. And that's all the void items they give us for now. They do give us one little image of this hermit crab looking thing that looks like a void, what do you call them? Void vent in the Knoll Fields. Void Fields, whatever. Also, since I watched the video that they also revealed, they showed at the end that same thing kind of flying across a map that looks like a void map. In fact, it even has some of the arches and the effects that the void fields have. My prediction is that the new void map is going to have a similar, shtick to the void fields, where if you're outside of that little circle, you might get damaged. And that little hermit crab thing might be the AoE that you need to stay in. There might be multiple, or maybe I'm completely wrong and that's just a new enemy type that hurts you if you're in the AoE. It's like vice versa. Anyway, that's it. I think that's it. That's all for the dev thoughts. So if you have any predictions or you thought you saw anything or interesting, comment, like, do the thing. Oh my god.